The Ripcord DIY wedge camper is awesome, but it's built for a Tacoma. I tell you right now, it doesn't fit a Gladiator, but you can make it fit a Gladiator. So join me on my journey as we figure out how to get this wedge camper set up on my Jeep Gladiator. For the last year that I've had my Jeep Gladiator, I've been camping either using a bed tent, one that just looks like a standard ground tent, but it's designed to go in the bed of your truck to get you up off the ground, or I've been camping out of one of my trailers. And I've been wanting to upgrade that, trying to go to more of a wedge style camper, rooftop, have some more storage in here. In the bed that's covered and protected for camping gear if I'm just headed out with the Gladiator. Right now I've just been using this soft tonneau, putting all my camping gear under and then having to pull it all out, set up my tent, and then put stuff back in the tent or underneath to try to keep it a little bit protected from the weather. So I considered ordering a really nice custom built system from companies like Vagabond, the Drifter, or OVS, or Magpack, or Go Fast Campers. The V2 Pro is awesome. OVS, my issue is it doesn't connect. It's a rooftop tent. I'd rather have everything connected. But the problem is, A, it takes a long time for them to build them. 6 months to a year usually, and B, it's expensive. You know I've already got a lot invested in this Gladiator, and my budget for camping top just isn't there. Most of them 8 to 10 grand minimum by the time you have it built the way you want, and you get it shipped to wherever you are, or if you go pick it up, then you got to take into account the cost to get there and everything. So I just wasn't ready to invest that much. I looked at some DIY kits. There's some plans and everything out there from Ripcord. If you just search Ripcord wedge camper in the Tacoma world, and I'm like, well, the Gladiator and the Tacoma share a very similar size bed, and so I thought about building my own one of those. It's a lot of work though too. Looking at his bill of materials for everything required to do that, just the cost of materials is over $3,000, plus the time to manufacture, cut, sew, order. It's a big endeavor, and I've got a lot of projects going on, so I'd kind of been kicking that can down the road because I didn't really want to invest that much time, or honestly even that much money. It'd save me easily half, if might only be a third of what having one built for me was, but still a lot of money. And then I happened on a used one on Facebook Marketplace. Somebody here local to me had bought a used Toyota Tacoma, and it had a Ripcord DIY built wedge camper on it, and he didn't want it. So I was able to pick it up for an excellent price, and today we're going to see how it fits on the Gladiator. It is built exactly to spec from what Ripcord shows, and I'm very excited about it. So without further ado, let's see if it'll work on a Gladiator. Now, these campers are built from an 80-20 extruded aluminum. Basically using a lot of off-the-shelf parts. They're actually Jeep. The hinge clasps here, the latches are off of a Jeep hood. They're aftermarket. You've got ability to add lots of accessories like these awning mounts. This is all aluminum sides. They use easy to open hinges here with struts that go up. LED light here for a brake light. You can open all the way around. The frame is a steel tube frame, and then if you look down here. I'll show it a little bit better, but they are mounted. This sets on the rail of the bed, and then these mounts will attach it to the mounting rails inside the Tacoma. And so I had to go ahead and take care of that on my Gladiator. But wide open, then it's hinged in the front. This comes up, so very secure, and nice rooftop tent with access through from the bed. So, now, like I did say earlier, I installed the rails for the Gladiator, the tie-down rails, so that it hopefully will work with the mounting system that's already designed into this cap. I'll probably be on the safe side and put a strap down around or something to take it down to the tie down as well, just for extra security. But these rails will be useful no matter what, for tying things down in the bed of the truck. So see if it'll fit on there. Now, for lifting purposes, I did install, I figured I'd use the 80/20 extruded aluminum and that track in there, and I installed 4 of these rings that I can use as lift points. So I'll go ahead and attach those, and we'll get it up in the air. Now, while this is up in the air, I'm going to go ahead and install some new rubber seal. That's going to go all the way around to make sure that there's no water leaks between the bed and the rails of the camper. Well, it's on. It looks awesome sitting there, but we do have a couple of issues. One, and the biggest one, is that the front is actually touching the top. So I've got that blanket under there, but there is contact between the front of the rooftop tent and the top of the Jeep. The other thing that it does, I was hoping it wouldn't, is it actually overlaps the freedom panels a little bit. So it comes forward enough that, I'll kind of come up here so you can see. So got some contact there, just a little too tight. We're gonna have to shim the front up to hold that up, and then we got to figure out how far up we have to get to make sure we're not going to have any problems as the frame flexes a little bit. Don't want it pressing and breaking on the fiberglass top, but I do have it slid back just a little bit because I didn't want it touching the glass at first, so I can kind of push that forward a little bit at a time. And also, I think it'd be nice if the back came in a little bit, but I think it'll be okay. So, see what we can address here, get that picked up. Alright, well, I've been fooling with it for a little bit now, trying to figure out exactly what to do, because that front up here was barely in contact with the cab. So for right now, I've just added a couple basically shims up front here to bring that front end up a little bit, so I've got clearance. Long term, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to separate this entire top from the base, so we can unbolt all along here. And then essentially what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in another piece of square tubing in between this top and the existing frame, raise it up, and then bolt everything back together. And that will essentially leave this base cap alone, bring the sleeping platform up an inch, and have the clearance up front that I need long term to make sure it doesn't touch the cab as we're out wheeling and moving around a bit. Alright, so basically now for the Gladiator, we've modified it by installing one more layer of 80/20 Series 15. So it's the same basically as what's up here, and raised the entire bed portion, so this part here, by 1.5 inches, and now we'll go ahead and put it back on the Gladiator and see if that's sufficient. Hopefully it is. So again, let's go over real quick exactly what had to change when I put it on here in Tacoma configuration, the way Ripcord had it designed, this front piece here was too close to the Jeep Gladiator top and it would rub. So I basically just disassembled the top piece from the bottom piece, ordered additional 80/20, exactly the same as what's already on here, same as these top rails, which is 1.5 by 1.5 inches. I added it in between the bottom portion and the existing top portion, and then to secure that, just to be double safe, I added these external brackets to tie it all together. There's, you know, it's just a configuration thing. It's tied together back here with these 90s. It's tied together internally with extra L brackets as well, but I just wanted to be on the extra safe side, make sure there was zero chance that my changes were going to have any structural effect on what he did. So I kind of went above and beyond, a little overboard, I guess. Added the external brackets as well as everything internal. Super sturdy, super strong now. It's not going anywhere. Been driving around with it for thousands of miles at this point with no problems. Very secure off-road as well. There's no movement. I've not had any issues with the cab of the truck or the top hitting this. I will say, gotta leave the freedom panels on. I mean, you can take them off, but I had the flip open canvas top on mine, and when you flip that open, it does hit the front here and causes some rubbing, and I didn't want to rub through that canvas top. Another thing of note, when you do have that canvas top on, there's a lot of extra wind turbulence with this, and you hear it in how that's flapping around. So definitely with this, I'm staying with the hard top. I'll be taking the doors off a bunch and driving with this, and that's fine. You can take the freedom panels out, and that's fine. But hardtop's the way to go if you're going to stay with this type of setup here. To mount these, the Ripcord system has these brackets built in. They go to the Tacoma rails. They work just fine in the Gladiator as well if you add the OEM factory rails here for tie-down points. The only issue with that is that you can get the rear to work, you can get the middle to work, but up front, let me get up here, up front you end up in the slide-in area where the nuts go, that slide in to these grooves. So there's no way for that to actually hold because you're not in a tie-down area, you're in the loading area. So up front, basically what I did is I just used some tie-down straps down to the factory tie-down points, and that's going to ensure the front one's not going to go anywhere. If you were going to do it specifically for the Gladiator, if you're building this from the beginning, what I would recommend is probably moving this front bracket either back a little bit or to the front panel where it sits and ties down along the front rail. To make my life easier during all of the setup, I got this little step stool off of Amazon. But setup of the camper is very easy. So all you've got to do is release the 4 latches around the camper, and once those are released, you literally just push up and you've got a camper set up. Now, one of the really cool designs about this is that not only does the back open, but the sides open as well. So you can get not only access to everything, no matter where it's at in your bed, but while you're doing stuff around your vehicle, you've got some protection from the sun or the rain. I do have stuff set up where I can hook up an awning. I'm just using a tarp for now. I'll probably put a 270 or 180 degree awning on at some point to get additional protection, but for now, just a little tarp awning works great for me. Now, the other thing that's awesome about this setup is that your access to the sleeping area is inside. So I've got all this setup still in here. My camping mattress and sleeping bag and everything's left up here. So it's really easy. Plus, as you're getting ready and everything, you've got room to stand. All right, so let's go take a closer look at this. Again, that step stool makes getting in and out really easy. Even with the big lifted Jeep on 37s. Side doors made out of this aluminum skinned plastic material makes it really lightweight. Locking, hinges open, stays open with the struts here, so that's super easy. You've got plenty of room for all your camping supplies, so as you're heading out to wherever you're going to go camping, I love the fact that you can load this thing up and it doesn't have any effect on your sleeping area. So when you get to camp, you can pop this up. If it's raining or whatever, you can leave all your stuff inside secure, and still be able to climb up top. So looking up top, you've got this open area here. Go ahead and stand up here real quick. I'm standing up in the bed, and as I reach up, I'm still not touching. If I jump, I can touch. So there's actually a lot of room vertically, which is awesome when you're trying to get dressed, things like that. So you've got zip open windows. Of course, there's screens here, so you can keep the bugs out. But this one's got a little pouch wired in on the front. Of course, you can use whatever material you want and put whatever type of windows you want because it's a DIY camper. But the Ripcord plans have it set up super easy. I've got all my sleeping bag. It's just gets left up here. This is a full-size 4-inch memory foam mattress. This is just a trifold one I got off of Amazon. I can try to find a link for that and put it in the description as well. But this, I've got the breathability mat down here to make sure we don't get any moisture trapped between the panel here on the bottom and the mattress itself. Now this piece does lift up and out of here, this last panel, so I can actually open this up and push it further forward, basically giving myself twice the amount of room to stand. So instead of having 2 feet open, I can have 4 feet open. That's why I got the trifold, so I can just fold it forward, and it's out of the way. But honestly, I don't really see the need for that. I'm not going to be in here standing up a whole lot. So the 2 feet is fine, and that still gives me the full-size mattress up top. So absolutely incredible. Again, you can set these up any way you want. You can add lights. I made mine just so that I can easily reach my my lighting here, and I've got this light so I can move it up top, hang it up top here if I want. My electrical is just a Harbor Freight waterproof box with a simple panel here, 12 volt panel, and then I wired it down. I put in a 12 volt outlet going to the truck battery, so I can easily plug that in or unplug it, but I've also got a portable battery box so I can plug it into that when I'm at the campground if I don't have power and don't want to run down my truck battery. And I've got everything wired to a master switch, and all this comes on, and I can turn on and off my lights individually. I've got stuff scattered around here for lighting, and then this one's just a super simple touch. And with that up top here at night, I can really easily have light. I like simple. I don't want to overcomplicate. You can put in, sure, you can put in solar panels and a dedicated battery box and all that, but I've got solar and I've got my inverter box, whatever you want to call it, with all the outlets, and I can just plug this simple system into that when I'm off grid and not worry about running down my truck battery. Also got a fridge and things like that. We'll get in on another episode. Another video. We'll do a full walk around once it's set up for camping, but this just gives you a basic idea of how the camper system is set up. Thank you guys for joining me. Hopefully that was helpful to you in what's needed if you want to adapt the Ripcord design to work on a Jeep Gladiator. I'm super happy with it. Very cool design. I was fortunate enough to buy this one secondhand, so it was already built, but if you're going to build your own and you want to know what do I got to do to change it, that's it. Add 1.5 inches of extra 80/20, or honestly, if you're building your own, just extend it up an extra 1.5 inches and you'll be good. So the lines fit really well with the Gladiator. Overall, super stoked, very happy. Thank you guys for joining me today. We'll be doing more camping with this setup, as well as many other setups, because I got the enclosed trailer toy hauler. I've got the C6 Outdoors rev tent. I'm getting ready to put a rack on the bed of this instead of this for a little bit more flexibility. So I like having lots of different configurations, and this Gladiator is definitely awesome for that. And this Ripcord Wedge tent is amazing for my spring and fall camping, when I basically want to dedicate this as a camping rig. Not much on true summer camping. Something about sitting around a campfire when it's 95 degrees just doesn't resonate with me. But anyway, there you go. Hope you all have a great day. Drive safe. Roam more.